Hey guys, Shadney back with another process video, and today we are going to work on a layout using only scraps, or 90% scraps. This video is actually supposed to go up Wednesday, but obviously that didn't happen. But I wanted to go ahead and get it up as quickly as I could. I really love how this layout turned out with all these bright fun colors on this dark wood. First, I will just tell you, those sheets that I'm holding are pieces of vellum. There's like 3 sheets, and I'm trying to like offset them just a little bit. And then I'll staple them to secure them together, and then I can just adhere them on behind the photo, and I don't have to keep adding adhesive between each layer, if that makes sense. The photo of India it was from Easter, or it was supposed to be her Easter dress. I don't know if this was on Easter, if this was when she was trying her Easter dress on. I still need to look up the date to add to it, but either way, it wasn't a super important photo or anything. She was just cute, and I just wanted to use the little globe from my wood veneer set to do You Mean the World to Me. So I just found a cute picture that I thought would go well with these papers. The papers are from several months ago, maybe in May, maybe April or May. I did a video where I took all of my scraps and divvied them up and made like individual page kits from it. So this is one of those from way back then. If I can remember to, I will link it down below, the original video, so you can go see how I made those. But yeah, so it's just scraps, all scraps. And I didn't know this, but for the most part, I'm trying not to cut them. I'm trying to use them as is. Some of them are like kind of wonky cut and stuff. So, and like have holes punched out of them, and I'm just trying to use around them. Of course, that means that they're not going to be completely surrounded on all sides with any of these papers, but I think having the photo already backed with one pattern paper and that vellum, and then we added fun foam behind the vellum, and that just kind of raises the picture up from the rest of it, so the rest is more like a background than it is a photo mat, if that makes sense. One cool thing about this is I did not plan to do, like, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this page. I just wanted to use this kit, and I wanted to make the You Mean the World to Me. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do after that. And then when I laid all these scraps on the paper, they kind of looked like this, like a strip and kind of messy. And I really just loved how that looks. So that's how I came to do the layout like that. And then for each layer of paper that I'm adding in here, I am inking the edges of each one just to keep the layers really defined, so you can see all the individual papers rather than a big hodgepodge of paper. When you ink it like that, I use just a gray. It's like maybe a medium gray. It's not super light, but it's not super dark. And when you use the gray like that, it looks more like a shadow than distressed, and it just adds that little line of distinction around each piece of paper to make that you see that whole piece as a layer rather than it blending into the layer behind it. So I'm still just building from, and usually I build from the bottom up, but I don't know if that's really true either. But in this case, I'm using the photo as my main part and working downward, and then I'll adhere that whole piece onto the wood grain background. So this is much more about this cluster than anything else. And it's a great way to use up scraps. These also aren't necessarily papers you would always put together, but they're all nice and bright and fun. And I really love how it turns out like this. And since you'll see later, but I do add some Easter embellishments after the camera stops rolling. I go back and add some Easter stuff, so you'll see those in the photos at the end. So So still just working through and adding each layer. I'm trying to keep it fairly evenly balanced all the way around the photo without getting these layers too wide. I wanted to keep it very vertical. So as I mentioned before, I tried not to cut any of my pieces. I tried to use them as is, but that doesn't mean some of them I did tear or cut in half to stretch them and make them look bigger than they are. But for the most part, I didn't cut off weird bits or anything like that, like the circles and stuff. And like that graph paper right behind the photo has like a really wonky cut in it. I don't know what I was doing, but it's really weird. Anyways, but I left it because it gives it a little bit more interest and detail. I could have also brought out my border punch, or my like notebook edge punch, but I feel like that would draw too much attention, and we're trying to keep all the attention on the photo itself and a little bit the title. And I forgot to mention earlier, with the wood grain background, it's a nice dark wood, and I used a Heidi Swapp Color Shine in Sweet Mint, and just splattered very heavily on the background. And once it was fairly dry, I'll put my photo over it and notice that a lot of the spots are hidden, so I'll go back and add some more. But that will be for a later time. There was something else I just thought of to tell you. Now I don't remember what it was. I don't know. But again, just inking edges, adding layers. And I did pull in that pink paper that I just used on Wednesday's layout. I did pull that in to try to use up some of that in this one as well, just because the colors kind of went together. That color pink was already in this kit, so it worked out really perfectly. And I think I might have mentioned this, but I'm not sure. I am trying to keep this very vertical, so it's more like a band that goes down the page rather than a big giant photo mat. I feel like that gives it a little bit more interest, and I don't know, I just like it. It's really cool. So, and this is my last layer. I'm going to add this one, and then after that we will start attaching and embellishing. So adding that last strip there, and you can see it's a nice long piece, like a nice long band of all these layers. And I held the photo over there and you couldn't see a lot of splatter, so I'm going back and adding a bunch more splatter, and then I will attach the photos on top of there. And of course I had to wipe up my mess because I got it everywhere, but and since there's not gonna be a lot of movement or anything, I'm just adhering down. I'm holding it still so I can decide exactly what I want to do. But since I'm adhering it straight down, I will go ahead and adhere it to the background. I'm not waiting till all of that dries. And then once that's stuck down, we will get started on our title. For my titles, okay, so I mentioned I wanted to do this little globe from my back to school collection, the wood veneer. And what I really wanted to do was do world, but use the globe as the O. And I thought it was just a cool way. I don't know how I thought of that, but it sounded like a cool way to use that globe, and not in a really school themed kind of way. So I tried to pull out some thickers that were tall enough that I could stack the globe on top of some of the books. And these were like perfect. They're an older, I got them at Hobby Lobby. They have a Hobby Lobby sticker on them. I want to say they're Amy Tangerine, but I really have no idea what they're from. They're really fun. They're really cool, but I have no idea what collection they're from. So I did go ahead on wax paper and add the world, and then I'm adding the you mean the world to me. I mean, you mean and to me with these navy little tiny thickers from one of Paige Evans' lines. These are amazing. If you like tiny thickers and you need a good, like, useful for everything kind of set. Sorry, the words aren't coming right. These are amazing, and I just recently, like back in June, I think, ordered a bunch from Joann's. They have them on their website, and they were like 50% off, and then I got a coupon, and then like an extra 20% off or something, and then maybe free shipping because I spent a certain amount. So it was a really, really good deal. They ended up being like less than $3, which is unheard of for thickers. But they match everything, so I got like 5 more packages of them. And if you need them, like, definitely go look at Joann's online and order them there. So I'm just kind of making sure they're all attached in the right direction. I thought about putting the title down there at the bottom right on the wood grain, but I wanted to keep everything very vertical on this layout. So I thought this was really cool just to keep it all in that row. And I do go ahead and adhere the wood veneer pieces down using my Nouveau liquid adhesive. It dries fairly fast and completely clear, so you don't have to worry about that. And then this little epoxy sprinkle is also from one of my back to school collections, and I used a Stampin' Dimensional just to attach it there, so it pops it up a little bit and gives it like a little bit more interest instead of being flat on the paper behind there. And so there's my title, and I really love how that turned out. I love how the little globe looks stacked on top of the books. It was perfect. And that font was the exact perfect height for that. And you can see how the top of the globe, like where the axis is, it kind of sticks up right where between you and me. So it just fits perfectly. It's amazing. So next thing I'm going to do is I added some red little star stickers, like some medium-sized star stickers they were from a Maggie Holmes collection, but I'm not sure which one. And then I had teeny tiny red stars from Studio Calico. And this is more like a scarlet red, not like a red, which is what I prefer. I'm not really a big fan of red, but the scarlet red I really like. And then I pulled out Chamel's Field Trip collection, the enamel shapes from that, like enamel dots, but they were shapes. And I really love the lightning bolts, so I just added those there just because it didn't really, like, there's no special meaning behind the lightning bolts. They were just cute to use, so we added them there. And then I pulled out some of these little phrase strips that I had put in that little page kit for the back to school page I did for the back to school hop, like last week or 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago now. And just didn't use them, and the color was just perfect, so I added them to this. And then I'm pulling in some little wooden stars and just sprinkling those about. You guys know I love my sprinkly bits, so we're just gonna add all the tiny sprinkly bits all over. And then also, I don't know if you know this, but I wanted just to remind everybody, if you are interested in buying anything from the back to school collection, it will only be available through the end of September. October 1st, it will not be in the shop anymore, and the new collections will be in the shop, which will be Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Harry Potter. So they're really, really cool. There's a ton of stuff. I didn't really mean for this release to get that big, but it's going to be really awesome. I love all this stuff, and I can't wait to start playing with the Halloween stuff. The one thing that will carry over to October are the books, because I feel like the books would go really well with Halloween and fall stuff. So, and Harry Potter, I guess, too. And so I am going to carry those over because they were also super popular. Anyways, back to this. I went ahead and adhered down all those little star sprinkles all over the place. And then I'm adding just some simple little journaling over here down the side with my white Uniball Signo Broad gel pen. It's the gel pen that Adele from Inky Quill recommends. So of course, you know, it's really good. And I got some on like really, really good deal on Amazon not that long ago, like 12 for $10 or something like that. So if you're looking for those, you just Google, or not Google it, but look it up on Amazon first. And then I just went around and added some little wonky hearts in the sprinkle areas, and just to tie some of that white around. And then, oh, I put it on the video. Okay. And then I go back and add some little Easter goodies. I add these little bunnies in yellow. I used yellow on all three. I add a puffy sticker in each area, and I added that little puffy bunny up at the top left corner, or I will in a second. So that's pretty much the layout. Oh, and then I do go back. I don't know if I do this on camera, but I do go back and add some Nuvo drops in this really pretty, it's a Dream Drops color. Let's see. Indigo Eclipse is the color. So it is a very, very pretty, shimmery, iridescent, like periwinkle color. It's amazing. So, and it just kind of ties everything together and just gives a little bit of shimmer and a little bit more sprinkle, because you know I love the sprinkles. Oh, there it is. Okay. I thought I cut all this stuff out, but apparently I kept it all. So there you go. And that's it for this layout. I really, really, really love how this turned out. The clustering everything together in that vertical format is really cool. I think I'm gonna have to do that more. So there's an up close. Stay tuned for photos. If you like this video, please hit like and leave me a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. If you are interested in seeing the video where I built this page kit, I will link it down below, as well as my Etsy shop if you're interested in any of that back to school stuff. So thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and happy scrapping. Bye.